So we're gonna start now. So first of all, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and taking part on several questions with my guests. Now, can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Faruq Sanni, also known as Sanni Fitness. I'm a personal trainer and online coach, and I also own my own clothing company. As you can see here, SF. So if you see it, you know it belongs to me.
So my first question to you is that obviously you said you're a personal trainer. What made you get into personal training, and how did you get into personal training?
How I got into personal training was, you know what's funny? I actually didn't want to be a personal trainer. I kind of got forced on me by people because they were always telling me that, oh, you should come train me, you should come train, because I was always a fitness guy. I was always doing something to do with fitness, and then when I started to record myself on Instagram, it started getting a bit of traction. People started recognizing for what I do, and once they noticed that as that, then people started taking interest, wanted to be around me, and they know that like I was busy in college as well, so they couldn't just train with me anytime they wanted and when it suited me, and because it doesn't suit you, because the goals are different.
Exactly.
So over time they decided that, right, you should be a personal trainer. It was brought up on me, and then I kind of like ignored it for a long time, but then I tried it out during the pandemic, and I was like, you know, I actually really like this, and then that's really how the journey started. And then I finished my 4-year degree in business in Tale, and after that I always had plans to get an accounting job. I got a job in an investment firm and had a choice whether or not I should take the investment firm or I should be a personal trainer. So I took the risk, and here we are today.
And that's a massive risk to take, because obviously if you've gone to college for so many years to study business, and then to just turn around and say, okay, let me go on the personal training. So I'm assuming this must have been something you were passionate about.
Yeah.
And how did your family feel about that?
It was the right decision, essentially, because I kind of live life on my own terms now. It's given me that extra bit of responsibility, in terms of like how to really manage myself, how to manage my own income, how to scale income as well, and then learn how to be more of a people person, learn how to be more extroverted. So they all tie into it, I believe. So the personal training is good because it brings you around different like-minded people that are not that you don't necessarily need to mix with because they're not in the same industry as you, or they don't have the same interests as you. And then when I'm in the gym, I'm in the gym environment, I mean like-minded people have similar goals, so we can all bounce off each other. And we can essentially bring each other to the next level through fitness.
With you saying that you're meeting all different people, and the one thing as a personal trainer myself is it can be very challenging. So for you, with your clients, what do you find what do you find can be the most challenging thing about being a coach or being a personal trainer or being a leader even?
To be honest, like the most challenging part is when I'm more motivated than somebody else to achieve their goals. If I feel like I'm putting in more effort than you to achieve your goals, then the relationship won't work. Essentially, it's a relationship.
But it's not your responsibility to get them to that level.
It is my responsibility to a degree, because I'm meant to show you ways for you to get to where you need to go through my own experience and through my own background. What makes me kind of like the go-to person to go is because I can relate to everybody in a certain degree. We can all relate somewhat because I have experience in different backgrounds, in different scenarios. I've lived different parts of life where it's put me in different scenarios that shapes me to be the person I am today, essentially.
And then moving on to the next question there, completely opposite to this is, what's the most rewarding thing about being a personal trainer?
I'd say the most rewarding thing about being a personal trainer is seeing people ultimately unlock a side of them that they never knew was possible. Take them out of the dark paths, their bad habits, and give them an unbiased opinion. Because when you're around a lot of people that you grew up with, sometimes you might not get the opinion that you need because the person that you're telling it to has no real interest in it. Whereas when they tell me, they're getting best advice possible for someone that's not in their circle. So it's like a therapy.
No, with me, when it comes to personal training, it's pretty much the same thing. My most rewarding thing is seeing a client walking into the gym, walking into me and saying they want to change their lives, they're not motivated, but then you take them on as the weeks go by, seeing them lift their head.
Exactly.
when they walk in after a month or 2 months, when they walk in with their heads lifted high,
Exactly.
that's my satisfaction. That's why I think that's exactly what you're trying to say as well. Which, yeah, it's amazing. So, where do you get the motivation? Because as a personal trainer as well, we don't wake up every day happy. And you're busy with personal training, you're busy with your clothing brand, which we actually in the office at the moment. For somebody your age, the motivation has to come from somewhere, because every day we see people around your age are still going out every weekend. You don't have that motivation. So where do you pull it from, or where do you get it from?
It's not, I wouldn't call it motivation. I'm very goal driven. I have a vision in my head of what kind of life I want to live, what I want to own, the way I want to live my life. So that's what kind of like wakes me up every day. So I don't really have bad days, because I wake up every day knowing that I need to achieve this X, Y, and Z. And the only way like I can do that is by getting up every day, sacrificing the social life, because I don't really need it, because it's the same thing. And one thing I've noticed about being social all the time is that on the internet, when you look at nights out and parties, you think you're missing out. Yeah, and you think everything's great because you're looking at it from the telephone, and everything looks good on the telephone. But if you're there in person, you're not actually missing out on anything. Just the same thing over and over again. If anything, you're just wasting time, valuable time that you can, 1, rest, 2, educate yourself, and 3, develop new habits that could shape you to be a better person. Not saying you're not a good person, but you can be a better person. We can all improve.
What's more important to you as an individual? Motivation, discipline, or consistency?
Discipline, yeah. Because if you're a disciplined person, you'll naturally be consistent. Yeah. So if you wake up every day, and do what you have to do regardless of how you feel, you will be consistent, and you will build on good habits, and you'll build on your goals. And over time, the building blocks of them will achieve the life you want to live. Yeah. But if you're motivated, I can watch an Instagram video today and feel pumped as fuck. Yeah. Wake up tomorrow. Do you know what? That was yesterday. I'm a bit tired today. So motivation dies out real quick. And I get it all the time. People will text me saying, oh, I want to start.
Yes.
Then I get back to you. You don't text me back because you're motivated in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
But when it really came down to it, you weren't disciplined enough to follow through. So
I get that all the time. I get a text message at 12 o'clock at night when somebody's low and they're watching the Instagram or YouTube, they get motivated. I get a message, and then the next day, ghost, they're gone.
Exactly.
Now, for anybody around your age, or a little bit older, or a little bit younger, came to you and said to you, they're looking to get into fitness, what advice would you give them? Being through what you've gone through already, what advice would you give?
The only advice I say is like, you have to stick through it. Like you just have to do it. Like I don't want to hear people telling me, oh, I'm gonna start next week, I'm gonna start tomorrow, because realistically you're just giving yourself an excuse and time to change your mind. So if you start today, and build on it, and give yourself a year, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Yeah, that's where you see the real intrinsic satisfaction. That's where you get that inside feeling of, right, I know I'm doing something, I'm getting somewhere. Anybody you see that is somewhere in life didn't just land there by chance. Even if you had all the right circumstances, you still have to put in work. Yeah. So if you put in work and accumulate hours in the gym, outside the gym, whatever dreams and goals that you have, you put in the hours, you will achieve it. You might look at it like a year into it and think, oh, I haven't achieved much. But wait 8 years and then look back and see how much you've achieved. Everything accumulates.
And in your opinion, how do you think fitness and exercising helps with mental health?
I feel like fitness and exercise helps with mental health because it gives you clarity. If you're an anxious person, if you go to the gym, break through that barrier, it gets a little bit easier. So you're less anxious the next time you do it. If you constantly go into the gym and you exercise with a good intensity, you will release your feel-good hormones. Exactly. Yeah. So the minute you release your feel-good hormones, you are clear in the way you think. You can think critically, you can analyze situations, and you can pull yourself out of dark places.
You've gone through the journey. If you can go back and speak to your 10-year-old self, what would you say to him?
I'd say you're exactly where you need to be.
Wow.
Yeah. Reason being is that every single life decision shapes the person that you are today. Yeah. If I did not go through certain life paths, I won't be where I am today, and I won't be the same person as I am today, and my train of thought won't be the same. So if I go back to my 10-year-old self, I'll be like, we're on track because we're exactly where we need to go. We're exactly where we need to be, sorry. Because I know myself, from what I've envisioned my life to be like, I'm somewhat on my way. And me being in the gym, gives me that clarity to see things the way I should see things. And so if I was telling my younger self, I just tell them you're exactly where you need to be. Every bad moment, every bad day, accumulates to make good days. And that shapes the kind of person you are, shapes your personality. It gives you more experience. So you learn how to handle certain scenarios a little bit better.
At this point in time in your life, what are you, apart from your family, what are you grateful for?
I'm kind of grateful for, apart from family and apart from everything else that's materialistic, I'll be grateful for me being everything I said I am.
Man, sounds like Kanye West over here. Expand on that, please.
Because I feel like the kind of person I am is that I'm a man of my word. I've lived life holding on to what I believe in. If I believe in something, you can't derail me. I'm very grateful for my work ethic, and the reason being is that I have good days, bad days, great days, in between days. But regardless of how the day goes, I'm still hungry for more. I'm happy that my work ethic doesn't drop depending on how I feel. That's something that's very valuable that I would consider a strong trait of mine.
No, it is 100%, and because I love your answer, because the honesty of it. Not many people are comfortable enough to be proud of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that somebody's proud. Oh, I work hard. I know what I'm worth. I know my value. So
exactly.
I'm gonna keep that part in about this, obviously. Now moving on to the next question, and it's the opposite to that. What do you regret?
I don't regret anything. A lot of people have regrets, but they only make you dwell on things for too long. I don't have regrets because everything that I've went through has shaped me to be the person I am today. All them experiences has made me not want to miss out on anything.
If somebody's watching this now and they're going through a really tough time, what message can you send to them?
It doesn't last forever. It does not last forever. You need to go through tough time. Life is not one linear path. You drop down, you come up, you drop down again, you come up again. All them days shape your character to be the person that you are meant to be in the long run. So if you're having a bad day, if you're having struggling with mental health, depression, anxiety, all you can do is work on yourself, because nobody else will save you. Everybody else got their own problems. So what you need to do is prioritize yourself. Don't prioritize your family members, your kids, nobody. Prioritize yourself number one, and then they should all come second. The reason why I feel like you should always prioritize yourself first is because if you're not happy, everybody else around you will suffer the consequence of that. So if you're not happy inside and you put your kid first, your kid will end up resenting you because you're projecting negative energy onto them, and you're like, oh no, I've done this for you. And even with your family, never put your family first. You have to put you first, make yourself happy, learn to be happy with who you are, and be confident. And the ripple effect of that is everybody else around you will love being around you. Because you can think clearly, you're radiating good energy, and people just love being around positive people. And you can see through bullshit as well.
No, and the next question I'm going to ask you, so I actually didn't plan it, it's just a question I was thinking of there. I think the first time I met you, or the first time I heard of you, was over in SBG, when I seen you post in SBG. Obviously, I used to work in SBG there, and thank God to, it was when Dave Roach and Justin Gus owned it. And the great people, they gave me an opportunity there. I used to work there for free, train clients, and then I started my own thing there, and then I left, and then I seen you come in, and you literally just took it to the next level and started killing it. So for somebody, I look at you like the next, I'm obviously older than you, but I look at you, and I think we should all be thinking like this. The generation before me gave me an opportunity, I took it to the next level. The generation under me should take it to the next level as well.
Yes.
But your work ethics, what you're doing now, when it comes to people around your age, which you know, Sam McWilliams and Jobs, and you can see people doing drugs and trying to be putting on these English accents, trying to be cool. How do you feel about that, or what do you think about that?
To be honest, each to their own. And because I'm not a perfect person,
No.
So I can advise people that what you are doing, like, only leads to a dark path. Yeah. And like what you're doing is actually meaningless in the long term. It only causes more damage. I can only advise you. I can't force you. Yeah. And I can only tell you about my own experiences for you to change your ways. Yeah. So evidently you can bring a horse to the river, but you can't make the horse drink the water. So I can show people that, right, this is how I changed my life through this, and this is how I live a healthier life, and I'm proof of that. You see me as proof, but I can't make you stop until you decide yourself that, right, through whatever you go through will make you see things at a different light. And then you might be like, oh, 10 years down the line, do you know what, you're actually right, Faruq, but I wasn't ready to hear it. It's like same like when I was a kid. My mom used to tell me all the time, oh, don't do this, and I go out and do it. Then I learned. Now 10 years later, 5 years later, I'm like, right, you know what, you're actually right.
Mom was right.
But she was right. Like when I was a kid, I always want to go out, and she wouldn't let me go out. Yeah, and I used to be like real bitter about that. So when I got the chance, boom, I'm exploiting that freedom. But now I might say I have all the freedom in the world, but I don't leave my house because I understand what she was sheltering me from when I was younger, but I didn't then because I couldn't see clearly.
And we always finish this show by you asking me a question. Yeah. If you have any questions to ask, that is. And what would you like to ask?
I would say, do you believe in yourself?
No, 100%. I think the best way I can answer that is I'm originally from Republic of Congo, and when we came to either England or Ireland, I always understood that there was an opportunity there for me to do better. Our parents went out of the way, sacrificed a lot to get us to this place where we are now. So they gave us opportunities, and that many people don't get.
Exactly.
And for you, if somebody else believed in you that much to give you that chance, you should embrace it and work as hard as you can to try and bring the opportunity to your kids, or even be an example to other people as well. So 100%, I think it's a must. You have to believe in yourself.
Exactly.
Because you just, it's simple. Just think of your background. Think where we are now. If I wasn't here, I'd be dead. I'd be in the army somewhere, holding a gun and shit like that. So I embrace my opportunity and I try to push it as far as I can. For a young lad, you're doing absolutely amazing with the fitness game, with the clothes game, and I can say this honestly. I think this is only starting point for you, and you have a long way to go. And keep up the hard work, man.
Thank you, bro.
Cheers for this.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks so much for that.